What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another VV Vision video. It's just me for this video once again. I'm sorry to let you guys down. Whoa, don't want to show all these because well, don't want to show that either. Whoo, gotta get out of here. Yeah, if we got a lot of videos coming this weekend. I've been trying to get out a bunch. I've been doing a bunch of like calculating and research and note taking on all sorts of stuff. So it's been a real fun weekend so far. I did not mean to click that. But yeah, this video, if you didn't see the title, is going to be talking about Opensea and different like NFT formats and marketplaces compared to Vivi. And I'm just going to be kind of like, I don't know, just talking about both of them and kind of comparing different aspects. The main aspects I'm going to focus on are ease of access, the quality of the art and the experience that you're getting with that art. I'm then going to get into utility and then kind of getting into the risk. And I'm also going to talk about a couple other things and some quick maths I did just to kind of get an idea of, I don't know, another way to compare them. So yeah, let's get right into it. I want to start with, I guess I'll start with the Coinbase point because this was interesting. Carter wanted me to, Carter made sure that I mentioned this in the video, but I believe, okay, so Coinbase is going to be like allowing or having an NFT marketplace soon just because they're kind of trying to catch on. And I don't think they're late because Carter was saying, and I'm not entirely sure if this is true. I'd have to double check, but he was saying that like roughly, okay, so they have an early sign up period, and right now there's roughly double the number of Opensea users signed up for like the early access Coinbase NFT market or whatever when it comes out. So to think that double the amount of people using Opensea are signing up for this like access to the NFT market, trying to get into NFTs, I think that says a lot. I also think this is a great opportunity for Vivi to step in because I'd be interested to see what kind of NFTs Coinbase is going to allow, if it's going to be like OpenSea type of NFTs and just JPEGs, or if they'll have other types of NFTs that you can buy on there. But yeah, I think this is definitely a chance. I don't know if Vivi is going to start like advertising or marketing Vivi a little more or what, but I think they'll kind of wait a little bit longer. But I think they do need to kind of get their foot in the door, just because I don't know. I think a lot of these people that are signing up for Coinbase could easily be converted to Vivi if they saw the product compared to the Coinbase product, because I haven't seen what Coinbase is offering, but I'm guessing it's not going to be, super comparable to Vivi. So yeah, let me know if you guys know anything else about that and the type of NFTs that'll be offered on there. I haven't. That was the one thing for this video I didn't do a lot of research on, so we'll probably go into more depth in another video, but I did want to start by talking about that. Woo, let's get into it. So for you, I don't want to start with that. All right, here we go. So to begin with, ease of access, OpenSea. And when I say OpenSea in this video, I'm also going to be referring to other like marketplaces. Here's a Cardano marketplace, cnft.io. I've looked on here as well. I think there are some decent projects on here. But yeah, I'm not just referring to OpenSea. It's just that is the most popular and probably has the most like projects on it, and probably some of the top quality projects for all of the other marketplaces. But yeah, if you guys know of any like Cardano NFTs that are crazy, let me know. I looked into Cardano Warriors. I thought that was a pretty cool one. And I looked into they have something like CryptoPunks on here that's just cheaper and more affordable than CryptoPunks. But yeah. So in terms of ease of access, OpenSea and all these others are accessed on like a desktop or a computer, something like that. I don't think any of them have apps right now. So that is one feature. You need like a computer to be able to access these. Also, in general, OpenSea is just more difficult, in my opinion, because you have to like create an account with it. You have to like create a MetaMask account, and like you have to create some kind of wallet, and then you have to buy Ethereum in order to buy these. And so it's just a process. And even though I feel like I could maybe do it, it just like wore me down. Like, I don't know. I was having a bunch of issues with my MetaMask. And then I think I tried making like a Coinbase account to do it through, and that didn't work. And then I was trying to figure out how to like convert something or like transfer something from Coinbase to MetaMask. And then it was a whole nother issue. So I encountered a lot of problems with it. It could just be that I suck at this, which I'm willing to admit that I'm probably terrible at doing this because I know other people do it with ease. But yeah, this is definitely something that I think should be kept in mind when it comes to like the audience that's going to be using it. Because for the average person, like all the people on Coinbase, I doubt all of those people signed up would be able to do this easily and set up a MetaMask and an account and go on and start buying NFTs through Opensea. And so that is a major selling point for Coinbase is you can use the Coinbase app. It simplifies everything because people, myself included, aren't trying to jump through all these hoops just to buy a picture or another NFT on like Opensea. So that is one aspect. In general, like I said, I think Opensea is harder. I think Veve has better, like just it's so much easier to use, in my opinion. I'm obviously biased, so I do want to admit that. But yeah, if you let me know your guys' experience with Opensea. Like I said, I don't think it's impossible. It's just in terms of getting started, I think there's definitely a learning curve. Whereas Veve, I think that learning curve is a lot shorter and easier. But yeah, the MetaMask, you got the wallet. There's also the gas fees to be noted. I think you can pay up to like thousands in gas fees, which is just like, I think basically competing with other people trying to like speed up your purchase or your minting. And so I think on the majority of purchases made on OpenSea, you have to pay gas fees, which I'm not entirely sure what they are, but I know they're not cheap. And I know that definitely poses an obstacle for a lot of transactions on OpenSea, whereas Veve, you don't have to deal with any kind of gas fees. On top of the fact that, you know, Veve's marketing is 99 or 100% like carbon neutral. So like they donate enough money to like I don't know, neutralize the effect they have on the environment, which I know that's not great, but I do think it's better than a company that does absolutely nothing to try to minimize that effect. So yeah, I did want to note that, and that Ethereum and these other like blockchain, like cryptocurrencies or whatever, you know, I think they have a little bit larger carbon footprint. So I think that's something to keep in mind. It doesn't have to do with ease of access as much, but once again, I think that's another like marketing aspect to be talked about. But yeah, let's see. We've got the, yeah, I mean, also, I did want to note when you're buying and selling on OpenSea, if you get ETH or Ethereum or any of these like cryptocurrencies, you have to make your purchases in cryptocurrencies. So one, that's a little more difficult because even buying and selling cryptocurrencies is not the easiest thing. Like I mean, I'm by no means a like master at this. I have very little experience with it, but from a perspective of someone who's not super experienced with it, it's not a super easy process. And like placing the right type of order to make sure you can sell it instantly rather than like one of those orders that like waits and then somebody, I don't know, the price can change between when you sell it and when you thought you were going to sell it. And so like there's just more moving parts in that as opposed to Veve where you're just buying gems. And I know Veve, you can convert OMI to gems, and there will be features like that coming in the future where you can buy with OMI as well. But as of right now, just focusing on the gems, I think that is kind of a positive of them is you don't have to worry about maybe selling something and then losing money because the cryptocurrency itself like deflates overnight or something like that. And then you lose some of the money you made off that like transaction and stuff. Whereas Veve with gems, it's a constant currency. The gem value isn't going to change. And so I don't know. I think that's another thing to consider. I also think in terms of ease of access for OpenSea, you've got to do some digging because these top projects are not cheap to get into. Like the floor prices on a lot of these are insane. Like this is 6.75 ETH, which is like what, $24,000 somewhere around there right now. And once again, that price fluctuates. ETH could be 3,500 one day, or it could be 4,000 like it is today, I think. So another thing to keep in mind is I just think you have to do a lot more digging. Okay. You have to be really invested. You have to be doing your research and your due diligence or whatever when you're looking for OpenSea projects, which there is a cool aspect to that. I like that. It's just, once again, is every single person who's looking to get into NFTs trying to do all of this research to find some like little project with a good team and everything, with like a good roadmap and all of that, and just looking into all the details and like their track record and all that. There's just so much you have to research if you're going to be a smart investor. You could just like buy a picture you like or something, or you could see some like fake what is it, ape yacht club thing and be like, oh, this is the really expensive ones, I'll buy that. But overall, I think you just have to do a lot more research. There's so many projects to sift through, and finding a good one. I know there are some ways you can use that one website where you like go to the NFT collection, you like sort by price and then mint number and all this different stuff. But that's still a lot of effort, I think, compared to Veve, which is one project overall with a bunch of different popular licenses or well-known licenses for the most part. So I think there's less research you have to do. And then for the ones where you might have to do research on Veve, it's very minimal, like just looking up the artist and kind of what they've done and stuff like that. But Veve doesn't really drop stuff with like super small artists. So I do like the aspect of Opensea where you can find an artist that has very little support and following, and you support them from the beginning and kind of like invest in the very beginning. But once again, that's something that's really hard to do. It's hard to find. You have to do a lot of research and you got to invest a lot of time in it. And so those are a couple reasons that I've been kind of deterred away from Opensea. And that ease of access, I think, is so important, especially when you're trying to adopt something for the masses, because the masses of people, like I said, don't have time, energy, or interest to do all of this research and try to find the best projects. So that is another thought for the ease of access. I also think Veve hasn't even started advertising yet. I know OpenSea has gained some traction in like their advertising and stuff like that, or not even advertising, but just like public exposure, I guess. And so they've definitely gained some attention, but Veve is still like in their super early stages. And like I said, Veve is a project as a whole in itself. I feel like you can consider Veve comparable to like CryptoPunks, except they have a bunch of different other projects underneath them. Or no, Veve is more comparable to OpenSea, and then all the licenses are like these different projects. But they're all well-known licenses like Marvel. Okay, they have the like first Marvel and DC NFTs ever, which is a pretty big deal. And they haven't even started using their like marketing or advertising team yet, which is insane. So just think when they do start like throwing some ads out there, which I really think they should do before this Coinbase thing happens, just because like I think they can definitely compete with Coinbase. And if they can kind of pull some of those users away from Coinbase to go into Veve, either in addition to Coinbase or instead, I think that's something to do. But yeah, overall, I just think this kind of like adopting it for the masses is really important. And I think OpenSea is not set up for that. I think it's set up for kind of like a niche user. And even though I think that's really cool, and I think there's a lot of cool aspects about OpenSea, unless they make things a lot easier to use, I don't think they're going to gain that huge following. Even though I know they have a very large following right now, I still think it's just there's a learning curve to it, which I don't think there is for other things. So, yeah, that's definitely one thing I want to note. Veve is an app. Okay, it's not on the desktop. You can just scroll through. Okay, that makes it easy in itself, as you can just download an app on your phone and use it from your phone rather than on your desktop having to make a wallet, all these crazy things. Also, the app itself has been showing up on the top charts of some like app stores. I saw in the Apple store, I think it's like the 140th ranked app under entertainment, which is pretty crazy considering where Veve's at. Okay. So I only think it's going to kind of grow from here. And I definitely think this ease of access is a major point. That's why I'm spending so much time on it. But yeah, once again, you can just easily like load or buy gems. It's not even close to as difficult as it is for like creating a wallet and loading that up and transferring all those funds and getting your ETH address and all that stuff. I think it's a lot easier on Veve based on my experience, but I would like to hear how your guys' experience has been. In addition to that, like buying OMI is difficult. Okay. It's more difficult than ETH or something, but it's not required. Okay. You don't have to. So you can buy gems instead. Or if you want to do OMI and you're coming from OpenSea and maybe you know how to go on like, what is it, like Bit4X or something like that, where you have to buy OMI, you can do that. But also, you can also buy. I don't think there's a lot of people selling ETH for like 0.75 what it's actually worth or whatever. But with gems on Vivi, if you saw Carter's video about the set he bought recently, he was able to buy a lump sum of gems for like 0.75 the actual value of them. So if you every gem he bought, he was only paying 75 cents for it rather than $1. So you can do things like that as of right now, which I think is another plus. And although it's not a lot, like doesn't have a lot to do with ease of access, I think that is another major thing is you can save some money and then invest all of that. Like, I don't know. It's just, I did think that was something to note. Next, I want to move on to art quality. So OpenSea definitely has more one of ones. Okay. That is kind of where they stand out. They also have a lot of these portrait projects. And that's something I really want to talk about is how many portrait projects can you have basically? Because as cool as these kind of are, you can use it for like your profile picture and flex that you own one of these that's worth like, multiple ETH or whatever and thousands of dollars. But I mean, what is the art you're really getting? I understand it's cool. If it's AI generated, I think that's really cool. If it's custom done, I also think that's cool. But compared to the product you're getting on Vivi, I don't think these compare. Yeah, you're getting a one of one, but it's just a dude with a different hair doing a mustache and an earring. Okay. It's like 20 pixels that have been changed between these two images, and these cost like more than the TODD Max, which is the very first DC NFT release. Like this, I don't mean to hate on JPEGs or these. I have like the most confusion about these portraits, like the 10K AI generated portraits or whatever. I know these were launched in like the early days of NFTs, but I'm still just like confused on why they have such a high demand. And I think that's something to note is like, this is the art you're buying. Okay. You're spending thousands on this. Whereas Vivi, you can buy a collectible that you can pull up in AR. You can look around on it. I'll get into this with the utility, but you can take videos with it. You can take photos with it. You have creative freedom with it. Whereas this, I think you can like print it on shirts or you can put it on a mug and try to sell the mug with these CryptoPunks on it. But who's really gonna buy it besides you? When you buy this, you're investing in this because you think it's cool, but nobody's gonna see a mug or something with this like design on it and be like, oh, that's really cool. I want to spend a bunch of money on that, because the art itself just isn't it. I mean, there's some of these that are really cool, but still you're looking at like 200 pixels or something like that for this entire image, and they're just changing different pixels. So I don't know. I'm not trying to hate on this. If you guys have other opinions on this, I'd love to hear about them in the comments in terms of just these portrait projects. This is the main type of project that I have like beef with, I guess, or I'm mainly just super confused because this volume is insane, guys. That is crazy. And like I said, it's just the art. I'm confused. There are other projects with different types of art. If I can go back to D-Race, this is another interesting one. You've got like different types of horses. Okay. I think this is different. And this also has some utility, which I'll get into. But there are projects with cool art on this. But then once again, when you own these and like you view like your what's equivalent to your showroom in Vivi, and your collection overall, you're just scrolling through a page of different like JPEGs basically lined up next to each other. And although I think that can be really cool, I've seen some awesome collections on here compared to Vivi. I don't think so, because if Vivi did these D-Race horses, like same product, different format, Vivi's taking the cake. Think about it. Would you rather view it in this picture image, or would you rather be able to take a picture, post it up with your horse, or put it in your showroom and walk around it and look at all the details, rather than just looking at a picture from one like stuck angle? I don't know. That's just how I'm feeling about that. I understand that these are more rare and that a lot of these are one of ones and that VV has like, 20,000 of the same thing. But they're also like the licenses, I think, play a major role, and your experience. Okay. If they were selling one of ones and you had a super limited experience, that would be crazy. I'd love to see that in the future, but it's still I don't know. I just think you can do so much more with the VV NFTs that the rarity just doesn't really matter to me at this point. And on top of that, I think they have really big picture ideas, like in terms of the future and where they want to go with this and what they want to do with their NFTs. And even though I think a lot of these projects on OpenSea have similar aspirations, um, I don't know. I'm still thinking Vivi takes the cake when it comes. It is difficult. The one of one rarity is definitely something that I think is like the biggest issue in terms of the competition that gives OpenSea the upper hand and these other marketplaces. But yeah, to move on from that, I've talked about the portraits. There are some really cool things, like these. This is another like portrait type of setup, although it's a more unique twist on it. I really like these, but still, is it worth like 12 or $16,000 for one of these? I don't think so, especially when you're comparing the value. Once again, take this product, put it in Vivi in 3D format. It's gonna do better on Vivi. I mean, even if there's like 10,000 of these, it's gonna do better because it's not just this picture that you can look at. I understand like you can use it as your profile pic and it is yours. Okay. You're the only person who owns access to this very rare one. But I still think, Vivi's taking the cake. I am biased, but yeah, here's some I really like this project and I can understand why this is more expensive because they're one of one AI generated art pieces. And I think these are really cool, but it's still just the format. I mean, if you could get like a physical copy of this or something for buying it, I think that would be really cool. Or like if you could, once again, same product, different format, put in Vivi, I think it's taking the cake. And so, unless OpenSea changes something about like how you can actually use these, I mean, I'm pretty sure ownership of this just entails you can view this image, you can use this image because you have like the rights to it or whatever. But yeah, you can like scroll through your account and see it in your collection, but you're paying like hundreds of thousands of dollars for this. I don't know this off the top of my head, but that is an insane amount of ETH. So yeah. Um, but yeah, to get back to like Vivi's side of the art quality, the licenses, even the small artists they have, I still think have really quality products. I think the worst pieces that Vivi has are like some of the portraits, even though I still think those are cool. I think compared to the 3D collectibles, those are some of the worst. And if we saw some of these JPEGs even in the poster format, I think they'd do better. I'm just not a major fan of all the like poster designs we have, but yeah. But once again, 3D, they're not JPEGs. I know some of these you can use different apps and websites, and there is utility, which I'm going to get into. But yeah, in terms of the art quality, I'm still thinking I'm going to go with Vivi. I know I'm biased. I like I mentioned, I know they're less rare, and I know that you know OpenSea has like unique art from different like users. And I think there are two different crowds for that because like if you want licensed stuff, I think Vivi's taking the cake. But if you want to find some curated art from like small artists or I don't know how small Tyler Hobbs is, but from various small artists or even like independent projects from certain people. I know there's like a Vivi whale who makes like some fish aquarium like NFTs, which I think is cool. But on Vivi in terms of license, I think they're taking the cake. And then I think they also have like the first appearance thing going for them. And so I think that definitely adds to it. But once again, just the experience and the art and kind of the interaction you get with Vivi, I think beats the art. Not all of the art, but definitely the interaction and the experience of ownership that you get with a lot of these OpenSea projects. But yeah, I would love to hear your guys' opinions on these. So please leave them in the comments below because I'm not super experienced with OpenSea, but these are my thoughts based on the experience I have with both OpenSea, other marketplaces, and Vivi. So moving on, I'm going to get to the utility here. Okay, so OpenSea definitely varies. There is for sure utility out there. Let's see. Okay, so like these, you can buy a character, and there's different types of characters as you can see here, which this is really cool. Okay, you can buy a character and then you can use it in this utility-based NFT RPG game where you can raid weekly dungeons for gear and loot. And then, okay, so maybe you're like risking it by going on these dungeon raids. So you can risk losing yours for a chance at getting gear and loot and stuff you can maybe sell to other users or like to upgrade yours. Which this is a cool thing. Okay, this has got utility. I'll support this. But once again, I'm going back to like the portrait projects because these are some of the top projects here. If we go back to where's the utility page? Why can I not pull it up? Okay. If we go back, oh, to the top charts, a lot of these Bored Ape Yacht Club, we've got portraits. Okay, so many of the top selling projects on OpenSea are just these portraits. And that's where I'm thinking the utility, because I think you can gain access to like some Discord servers, and there's probably some exclusivity in terms of like access you get to certain things based on owning these, and like certain events you can attend based on owning these, and maybe some other utility I haven't heard about. So please let me know in the comments below if you know about any other utility for these portraits. But as of right now, I don't really see as much of it with the portraits. But yeah, I think there are other projects that do have utility. Like this one was one I thought was really cool. Is like you're buying a chunk of land that's compatible with Minecraft. So you can buy this piece of land, and then you can like hook this up to Minecraft basically and play on this plot of land that you have like exclusive access to, I believe. So this is a really cool project that I was looking at, and I can understand this utility and support it. But once again, going back to some of the other projects, I just don't see it happening. And I think Veve definitely, like I said, in terms of long-term future plans, I think, they've got a little roadmap in terms of where they want to go with their utility. And we've already seen some from Veve. But yeah, the way once again, the way you view your collection for these though on OpenSea, at least, I don't think it's competitive with Veve, just because you're scrolling through a list of JPEGs like this. And once again, it might vary in like the website or app that kind of like goes with the NFT you own, but like marketplace versus marketplace and company versus company, I think Veve is taking the cake there. Okay, so the experience can be unique with this like ownership. It's definitely, I've seen it before. It can be really cool, but I still think being able to go around an AR in your showroom is such a unique experience. And it's so cool to be able to like interact, look around, set them up however you want. You can get creative with it. You can do the Vault-holic type of thing, and just like make these huge like battle scenes of collectibles, or you can try to make like art with them, because there's so many different like colors and textures and shapes that you can kind of like shrink and put together and arrange however you want to make bigger piece of art. I just think there is a lot that can be done, and there's a lot of creative freedom that comes with Veve NFT ownership, whereas this, I don't think there's as much. There's a project you buy into, you're limited to that project. Which, no hate on that, because like this, that's a cool project. I support that, but I think what you can do in Veve, I think, is a little bit greater than some of these projects. Some of them, though. Here's another project that I followed for a while, super hard to get, but this is one I really like, the Mechaverse. So they have this idea. I'm guessing you're going to be able to like battle other mechas in the Mechaverse in the future and stuff like that. So this is a really cool concept, but they're just getting started, okay? And I think it's like a 2-person team. So this is another aspect I want to talk about is Veve's been working on this for like 3 years prior to now, or something like that. Like they've been working on this for years in the past. They all the drops we experience, or like, the drop today, they probably have had that planned for months ahead of time, if not longer. So I think they've had a lot of these like licenses just sitting on the back burner, and they have a bunch of drops chilling in the back burner. And so I don't know. I think it's going to be harder for like a 2-person team to catch up and keep up and compete with something like Veve. And I know Veve's team isn't the largest, but I still think in terms of what they've done in their track record so far, it's pretty clean. Okay. They're making progress, and I'm satisfied with the progress I've seen. But yeah, in terms like back to utility, I'm trying to think. I had a couple other utility ones here. You can buy these pixel beasts, and it grants you like exclusive access to this Beastopia, which once again, it's unique. But look at, if this is the Beastopia, I mean, what else can you do besides walk around and maybe like chat with other people on here? I think that's cool, but let's see what the lowest price is. If this is buy now, that's not terrible, but okay. So it's still going to cost you a couple $100 for this. So I still think you could probably get into Veve early, and then by the time they do develop some utility in the near future, I think you'll have a better experience on Veve. At least that's my approach to it. And yeah, I don't know. That's just kind of how I'm feeling. This I thought was an interesting project, is the like personality pod. So I think you can, okay, a personality pod enables you to power your NFT with AI, turning it into an intelligent NFT. Once your NFT is fused with the pod, you can not only create a unique on-chain and evolving AI-generated personality for your NFT, but also offer powerful AI services with the world's first intelligent metaverse, Noah's Ark. So I don't know. I think this is a really cool project. And if you can kind of like infuse a personality into some like, I don't know, portrait, then I think things start getting spicy. Okay. Then things get real interesting. And so there is utility on Opensea, but there's a lot of variation. You can get these goblins that like mine this gore crypto for you or something like that. Which is interesting. But once again, like let's see the entry price here. Okay, so 0.02, that's still going to be a couple $100 there, I think, maybe like 100, something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah. Uh, so I do think there's utility on here, but as we've seen with Veve, they're having some, I mean, it's not like major utility, but I still think it's really cool real world utility with some major licenses. For example, the 007, they dropped 7 of those ticket stubs. Whereas if you got that on drop, you got 7 free tickets to the 007 movie. That's a cool little like implementation of utility there for a Veve product. And then upcoming, we've heard about the Disney Plus, which is another huge piece of utility. And I think they're just getting started with this. But if you get any of the Disney Plus drops, you get 3 months of Disney Plus free with that purchase. And then in addition to that, if you get the ultra rare, you get like a free year of Disney Plus. So I think this is really cool utility. I'm hyped to see what else they have to come in the future because I think they're just getting started. And I think they, once again, they've got the foresight. Okay. And I think they have a bunch of other types of utility planned in addition to being able to like walk around in AR, possibly VR in the future and inspect your like collectible in detail, take pictures with it, take videos. Like I was saying, you can arrange things, you can make art with it. I'm pretty sure you can sell just like you could since you like own the what is it like the JPEG on OpenSea, since you can use that like to sell something with it, like with the design of your JPEG on it. I think you can do the same with Veve. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I think you have a lot of creative freedom. The pictures, the videos, all of that. What you can do, like just in general in the showroom, setting things up, and then I think, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything on OpenSea as of right now that you can open up an AR and have a similar experience to Veve. But yeah, if you guys know of any, please let me know down in the comments because I'd be interested to hear about those. But yeah, the collecting utility in general, I don't think it compares to OpenSea, since like you scroll through the menu, and in Veve, I mean, you can scroll through, but you also have the option to view everything in 3D in AR, walk around it. It's a really cool experience, honestly. Like I don't do it enough despite, or like given the number that I own, but it's honestly really cool. And that's like, I keep forgetting to do it, but then I open it up. I'm like, wow, why am I not using this more? Because like this is actually pretty awesome. So yeah, and then also other utility they've mentioned, like the drop lottery coming out in the phase 2 of the MCP, where you can wager these points you earn based on how much of a collection you have and how active you are, and you can wager those points for a chance to win a free mint reservation for a collectible. I think that's a super cool little like dynamic they've put in the app. So yeah, that's a lot of the stuff I wanted to talk about. I want to end with risk. I think OpenSea is a little more risky. I don't have experience with it, or I have very little. So please let me know in the comments what you think about this if you have more experience with OpenSea. But I think there's just greater volatility, and I think there's a lot of hype driving everything rather than like the actual product. And so I don't know. I'm interested in that. Once again, I don't know about all the like awesome projects on OpenSea. Like I don't know. I think I just don't know about the volatility, and it seems to me like there's a lot of hype driving it. Like people seeing like a TikTok of like, oh yeah, I bought and sold this JPEG for like 50K or something, and then like they get into it and just start trying to find all these random projects and investing in it. And so I don't know. Like I said, you have to do your research, and if you don't do your research, I guess that's where I think a lot of the risk comes in. So once again, kind of going back to that, adopting things for like the masses. I think it's riskier for like the average person, but if you are going to do your research and stuff, I don't think it's that bad. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys think about that. Um, I also think there seems to just be like oversaturation on OpenSea in terms of like, especially I'm going back to the portraits. I know you guys might not like that, but there are so many portrait projects and they are just like, they're just pictures of people with like different hats and stuff. So I really, someone please explain to me the portrait thing because it's insane. Like I just don't like these cool cats. Like, yeah, these are cool, but would you pay like $1,000 for them or $100? I probably wouldn't. I mean, I do think they're really cool. I'm just still confused. So yeah, if anyone can explain that to me, I'd love to hear it in the comments. But yeah, Veve, I think there is risk. Okay, one, there's the whole thing of you can't take your money out officially. No, you cannot. But there are external like methods of taking your money out or buying gems, which we've discussed in the past. There's like Facebook, Telegram. Be careful if you do that. Please be careful. I'm not encouraging people to do that, but I'm saying where there's a will, there's a way. You can find someone to buy those gems. I'm sure there's discords and stuff. You just got to make sure there's reliable. So use a escrow. Make sure you use an escrow if you do something like that, or just find someone who has a good track record who you know isn't going to rip you off. But there are ways to do that. And so I think that's one of the main risky factors of Veve. But I also think on OpenSea, like when Mechaverse was dropping, I think people were making fake mechas, okay? And then people who are new to it, trying to get in on the hype of the Mechaverse, possibly bought some of those. And even though, yeah, that's their own mistake, on Veve, you don't have to deal with like fake collectibles floating around the marketplace that you have to like watch out for. So I think that's a really interesting thing. I do think a positive of OpenSea and maybe some other marketplaces that you can view the like transaction history and like all the hands that a certain NFT has been in and like all the transactions and its entire history from like who has owned it basically. I think there's aspects of that in Veve, but I don't think you can view like all of the ownership to see like how many people have held it, what they sold it for, who caught it on drop and blah blah blah. So I think that is one thing to note about OpenSea, but yeah, overall, I think Veve is just slightly less risky. I know there's that element of like, yeah, you can't pull your money out, but like I said, where there's a will, there's a way, especially if you've like bulked up and you're worried about it. There's definitely some whales out there who can't sit there and put in 350 gems at a time who are looking to buy like tens of thousands of dollars worth of gems. So I definitely think it's possible. I don't think it's a major barrier that you should really worry about. But I'm not really looking to like pull any gems out. So yeah. All right. Last, I just wanted to compare the market caps for like Veve total versus like the top project on OpenSea, just to get an idea. Another like method of comparison. So if we go to CryptoPunks, there are none for sale, I don't think. So there's literally nothing that you can buy for CryptoPunks. And when I went to their website, it says that the lowest price punk currently on sale is 98.5 ETH. I don't think that's true, and I don't think this has been updated. But I used this value, and then I used a 1 ETH value. Okay, so I did the like market cap for 1 ETH floor price and for 98.5 ETH floor price. And the 1 ETH, I think, is super generous because I'm pretty sure all of these are going for multiple ETH, if not like thousands. Okay. Like these are like 4,000 ETH. So yeah, I just did 1 ETH versus the like 98. Yeah, 98.5. And then we can like off the top of my head, I think TODD Mac floor price is like 10 million or market cap is like 10 million or something like that. So to calculate the market cap for the 1 ETH floor price on the most popular project on OpenSea, CryptoPunks, that would be a market cap of 40 million. Okay. There are 10,000. So I know there's different number of mints, but when you compare that to just TODD Mac, look at the product you're getting. Okay. Yes, you have a unique photo of a dude with a hat or a dude with a mask and a nose, or this pixel character with some glasses, or one with the mohawk smoking a cigarette or something. Yes, you have this one of one feature. This one, literally just the background is different, and they're going for like 100 ETH or $400,000. So compare that to a Todd Mac, okay? The first DC NFT with the official license, you can pull it up. You can take a picture with it. You can take a picture of something else with it. You can make videos with it. You can arrange it however you want. You can make it as small as you want. You can make it as big as you want. You can view it in 3D. You can walk around it in AR. And you can possibly in the future, most likely, view it in VR or possibly be Todd Mac in like VR, like VR chat or whatever. So I just, I don't know. For some comparison, and that's with the floor price of 1 ETH. So keep that in mind, because according to this website, their floor price is 98.5, which isn't accurate since there's nothing available on Opensea, since none of them are being sold. But I'm guessing if any of them were sold, let's assume that they're not 1 ETH and that the next listed like CryptoPunk on the floor is 98.5 ETH. That is $424,000 just for one. That would make the market cap 4.22 trillion. Okay. And then think about that. Put that in perspective. What is the product you're getting? What is the utility you're getting? What is the aspects of the ownership and the experience of ownership that you get out of this? Please fill me in, because I think there is some like exclusivity. I think you might have like Discord access and you might get some access to certain things, but is it worth $200,000 or $400,000 or whatever? And just what is the quality of the product? I'm not trying to push Todd Mac should be $400,000, but just compare the product. Once again, we've got a picture. We've got this like blue dude with the pipe and the hat and the sunglasses. Okay, you can view that in JPEG format. You can make it your profile photo. You can maybe make some stuff with it and sell it since you own that specific dude. But I still think the Todd Mac is going to win in terms of product. So I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on that. But I just think, the Todd Mac market cap is like 10 million or something. So to think that if this floor price is accurate, or if the next thing, listed on Opensea is anywhere near this floor price, or even 1 ETH, that's still crazy, because it's still like, even at 1 ETH, it's 4 times the Todd Mac like market cap, which I think is like 10 million. It could be more, but I'm just trying to remember, and I think it's 10 million. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this, just because I don't understand all these like portrait projects and everything. And considering this is the most popular, I just thought it was really interesting to compare the market caps, because that's insane to me. So yeah, just look at the product. I don't know. That's really all I have to say. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like or a comment or a dislike if you didn't like it. I'd love the feedback. I'd also love to hear what you guys think about all of this in general, because I did try to put together quite a bit. I'm sorry this was a longer video, but there's just a lot to consider. I didn't want to make a super simple video and just like, I don't know, going over some basic aspects and I don't know. This is kind of more of like a podcast practically at this point, because it's been a while. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. If you guys did, if you made it to the end, thank you so much. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments. Once again, if we can go back here, thank you so much for all the support. Slimer giveaway tomorrow, 1K giveaway real soon. Let's go. Also, just to note, the Slimer giveaway will probably be in the afternoon, or I think yeah, it'll probably be in the afternoon when Carter is back and actually can film, so we can do it together. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. Really can't thank you enough. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you have a good rest of your day, night, wherever you are, whatever you're up to. And yeah, this is VP Vision signing out. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Let's go.